Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and dude, I am really enjoying my time with Borderlands 4. Optimization and performance aside, I think it is a fun as all hell game. I'm never gonna be like Borderlands is this revolutionary experience at this stage of the game, but what Borderlands to me has to exemplify is that fun factor in video games, and I'm getting out of that. With that being said, I think the performance is absolutely garbage, and there is one way to handle performance outcry, and my goodness, Randy Pitchford, I guess it's an instance of he is so high up that nobody can really tell him how to behave on Twitter and social media. But buddy, this is not the way to go. This is just not the way to go. You are doing a game that I consider to be really good a abhorrent disservice. And the game is a performance disaster. I don't think you can really quantify it any other way. Yes, I get it. People are pushing good frame rates with frame gen. That is an entirely different topic that we can get into at a different point. I've talked about it over and over again about the issue with frame gen and utilizing it as a crutch. We'll talk about Randy Pitchford's absolute meltdown and how terrible it is. It's just absolutely awful in terms of how to handle public outcry like this over bad PC performance. And honestly, it is so bad, and I'm not saying he is. Like, this is the level of emotional outburst I feel like some of my friends will have if they're like horribly intoxicated. And I'm sure you guys have seen that when your boy's like super messed up and he's just having like an emotional meltdown, and it's just like, all right, yo, it's a lot of the, whatever, them being intoxicated and whatnot. Like, how does anybody go on Twitter of all places, have meltdowns like this and think it's a good idea? It just isn't. And it just, from somebody in a position like Randy Pitchford, I am just so bewildered as far as how you think this is a good idea. All right, so let's just go over some of these tweets because it's a doozy. First of all, the first one is, I know a lot of you are dead set on playing at 4K with ultra max settings and using 2 or 3 year old hardware. Bullcrap on that. You can say it's 2 or 3 year old hardware. Guess what? People are playing on the PlayStation 5, by the way, and people are also and the PS5 came out in 2020, but I digress. People are playing on a hardware like the 5080, 5070, GPUs of that caliber. Those are not 2 to 3 years old, and even if graphics, like, what are you saying? That we should be crucified for using GPUs that are 2 to 3 years old and expecting top-level performance for a video game that doesn't look that good? We need to say that over and over again and louder for the people in the back. Borderlands 4 is not this technical marvel. I like the Borderlands art style, but this game is not pushing the boundary of technical performance, technical gravitas in a video game as far as visual presentation. It ain't doing that. I like the art style. It can get a little chaotic. There is no reason a 2 to 3 year old GPU like a 3080 or a 3090 should not be able to push quality performance and visuals. By the way, Randy, Gearbox, everybody involved, y'all put out an NVIDIA optimization guide after the game came out. Funny how that optimization guide came out after the game came out and not before, because people would have looked at that optimization guide and called you out on the garbage that it was. On top of that, y'all were being real coy and real sly with the system requirements, but after the game comes out, oh, that's the opportunity for Pitchford to have all of these meltdowns on Twitter, and fair play to him. Having these meltdowns on Twitter, I have these meltdowns on YouTube videos, so am I throwing stones from a glass house? Maybe I am, but guess what? I'm a schmuck on YouTube. Pitchford, you're the head of a, multi-million-dollar game here, and people are being critical of you, and you're responding to that criticism without being aware of where it comes from, and just having meltdowns yourself over that, and I just don't think this is the right way to go. And again, it might be an element of me throwing stones from glass houses. Having meltdowns is kind of my shtick, and if Pitchford wants to make that his shtick, fair play to the man, but I don't think that's the right route to go. Let's read his tweet. Again, I'm going on my unhinged rants now. You do you, but Borderlands 4 and Unreal Engine 5 are doing a lot, and for me, the trade-off of frames isn't worth it. I play at 1440p with settings super high, and I'm super happy with the trade-off. The game looks amazing at 1440p. If you're not 4K stubborn and just want to have great fun time with high performance, please consider running at 1440p resolution. If you got a beast of a video card, you're probably fine at 4K, but if you're in middle or close to min spec, I would definitely recommend making that trade-off. Brother, look at the optimization guide. You guys are talking about running a 4080 and 4090 GPUs at 1080p. Like, the optimization guide is there for that as well. And this is just sheer cope. But Pitchford went on, and this one actually got community noted, buddy. Ooh, that's not a good look, is it? Randy Pitchford tweeted out, every PC gamer must accept the reality of the relationship between their hardware and what the software they are running is doing. We have made an amazing and fun and huge looter shooter campaign game. The game is pretty damn optimal, which means that the software is doing what we want without wasteful cycles on bad process. With Borderlands 4, every PC gamer has a lot of tools to balance their preferences between FPS resolution and rendering features. That may be true, but why weren't you clear and completely transparent about your optimization of the game prior to the game coming out? Why did you sell the $130 edition prior to putting out the optimization guide? Every single one of his points goes out the window when you realize that they were being a little bit discreet. Oh, all of a sudden we have all of the optimization ready to go as far as the guide after the game comes out, but prior to the game coming out, we had 2 tiers of system requirements for a game, and this is the most comical part, for a game that was bundled with top-level NVIDIA GPUs to promote the NVIDIA hardware, and you couldn't have given us that transparency prior to release. Funny how that works. You guys think this is done based on sheer coincidence? I don't know. You guys tell me. Look at the date of when that optimization guide came out and look at when this game unlocked. Like, I feel like that tells you everything as far as how sneaky they were trying to be with the release of this game. I don't really think you can argue any other point. Again, we appreciate the incredibly high degree of passion and excitement there has been for the game we have been developing over 6 years. We know strong feelings lead to strong opinions. We hear and see you. That's literally all you needed to say. Eliminate all the other tweets. If that was the only tweet sent down, I think it would have been fine. For a campaign shooter looter, it is absolutely reasonable for developers to focus on default settings, achieving 30 FPS on minimum specification and 60 FPS on recommended specification. Again, well, why don't you talk about frame gen being used as a crutch? It would really be nice when frame gen is set to on across the board for top-level GPUs at 1080p. Like, what are we doing here? It is a mistake to believe or expect that PCs between minimum and, again, he's making points that people aren't arguing, or at least a lot of people aren't arguing. I'm not gonna go through every single tweet he put down, but, yo, it's literally like a 20-tweet chain. Like, this is actually insane. And he's also retweeting people that are agreeing with him, which fair play to him. Fun fact about customer service. Again, I think the game is really enjoyable. I'm having a great time with Borderlands 4. I think the game is super fun. But people are allowed to be critical about the performance when a game doesn't look that blow away. It just does not. And you know, you're talking about GPUs like a 3080 being looked down on, being like, oh, you got mid-level hardware from 2 to 3 years ago, buddy. Why don't you go upgrade? Or even a 4080, that would be in the 2 to 3 years ago, criteria as well. It's just like, brother, people are not gonna upgrade. Yeah, some people have FU money and they're gonna get every generation of NVIDIA graphics card and they'll get their free copy of Borderlands 4 with their 5080 and then still experience crashes. But most people are not going to do that, and when you get garbage performance, and then also setting the awful precedent of frame gen being a mandatory, essentially that's what they're telling you without Pitchford coming out and outright telling you. But look at the optimization guide of how frame gen is just enabled across the board. This sets a horrible precedent of utilizing frame gen and DLSS as a crutch, and this is what I've been saying for like a year plus now when you see more and more games doing it. And again, it's so easy to like just see from the vantage point of why weren't they transparent about the optimization and the guide to optimize prior to the game coming out? Because they wanted the pre-orders. They got all the time in the world to increase the incentive for pre-ordering the game, but they got no time to put out a simple optimization guide until, oh, would you look at that? The game has been out for 5 years, or 5 hours, excuse me, 5 years. 5 hours, and people are bugging out about the performance. Yo, intern over there, can you put out the optimization guide? Thanks, buddy. We'll just count all our money from, you know, selling all of these pre-orders and whatnot. And I get it, Steam has refunds, etc., but man, I just think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous when you actually put context of how the situation was handled. And I did a video prior to this game coming out being like, bro, it's one thing when a game is like a 10-year-old port of a random game, like, bro, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron getting ported to PC. Alright, buddy, I don't expect 4 to 6 tiers of system requirements for that, but Borderlands 4, a game that is literally being used as a promotional vehicle for NVIDIA hardware, being bundled in with NVIDIA hardware, and you're giving us 2 tiers of system requirements prior to the game coming out in the year 2025 is outrageous. It is egregious, and that to me already spelled disaster as far as the PC performance of the game. But that'll do it for me. Again, like I said, I am enjoying the game. I think the game is a ton of fun. I think it's way better than Borderlands 3. I think it's W's as far as being a fun game. But I don't think this is the way to handle people pushing back on PC performance. Nonetheless, this is something you're going to have to deal with. This is like the 4th PC port in a row that has had lukewarm performance, or PC version, however you want to say it. Like Wu Shang Mafia, Metal Gear, and Borderlands 4. Yeah, that's like 4 major games in a row that have had issues as far as PC performance. Kind of unfortunate, and let me say, it stings a lot more when you're on a higher end PC and PC performance is not great, especially when you're being asked to drop $130 for all the content and the transparency just wasn't there ahead of the release, which is egregious. Like, Pitchford, answer that question. Why didn't the optimization guide come out prior to the game coming out? Did you guys do that by accident? Was it creative thinking, or am I missing something? Was that optimization guide out? I don't know. It certainly wasn't out on the community page on Steam, which is where most people are going to see it, but I digress. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.